The year was 1990. Run DMC was crossing cultural boundaries, and I was a vibrant 19-year-old fascinated by rap music, technology, and on the cusp of starting my very first business, a healthcare company that would lead me on the path of entrepreneurship for years to come. Now, on this particularly sunny day in Atlanta, I decided that I would take a drive to my family's home in Decatur, Georgia. When I arrived, I could see my brother staring from the window, ready for me to enter. And as he opened the door, we exchanged our usual banter, or as we like to call it, shooting the dozens, and just laughed hysterically. We moved into my family's living room where we watched television. Now, as we were watching, a commercial caught my eye. Radio Shack. Now, this store, if you remember, was a technological wonderland. On every aisle, it looked like a haven for everything related to tech. I was always inspired every time I would browse the aisles of the store. Now, the advertisement promised that I could take my phone anytime, anywhere, without even being connected to a landline. Now, at 19, this was pretty revolutionary. This was the stuff that dreams were made of. So, without even saying goodbye, I jumped up, ran to my car, jumped in, and headed for the mall looking for Radio Shack. Now, as I entered the mall, I found the store and walked in to Walter's warm hello and welcome to Radio Shack. How can I help you today? After a brief interaction and exchange of information, I walked out of Radio Shack clutching my bag phone, and that was the moment that I fell in love with technology. You see, technology is a magnificent force that has transformed our world in unimaginable ways. It has broken barriers, bridged gaps, and amplified voices of the marginalized. For many communities of color, technology represents an opportunity for empowerment, connection, and growth. From the democratization of information to the rise of social media as platforms for activism, technology has allowed people of color to assert their identities, share their stories, and forge meaningful networks. Furthermore, technological advancements have enhanced accessibility to education and healthcare, driving progress and bridging disparities. You know, technology equips us to overcome systematic challenges, empowering communities of color to stand on equal footing with their counterparts. It is this immense value that makes technology a beacon for hope for a brighter future for us all. You see, from 1990 to 2023, my life has been punctuated by a trail of gadgets. Let me see, from iPads to iPods to cell phones to laptops to Apple Watches, you name it, I've had it. But you know, when I think about it, here's the stark reality of all of that. For so many of my fellow Americans in communities of color, this narrative couldn't be farther from the truth. You see, the excitement of that bag phone was never a shared experience for far too many. Instead, they have been met with a much different reality. A reality where access to technology is not guaranteed, where the dream of a cell phone, let alone high-speed internet connection, remains unfulfilled. It is a reality that expresses and exposes the gaping wound of digital apartheid. An equality that has persisted for many decades. Our world has definitely transformed since that day in 1990. Technology has been a relentless driver of change, connecting us in ways that we could only imagine. Yet, we stand at a crossroad where access to this very technology is not universal. It is, my friend, a digital paradox, an era of unprecedented connectivity, shadowed by the harsh reality that millions are still left without the tools to fully participate. Now, I want you, if you will, to imagine two neighborhoods side by side. On one, the streets hum with the connectivity of smartphones, high-speed internet, and digital education. In the other, the air is thick with the absence of those very same privileges. Students struggle to keep up with digital learning. Job opportunities that require digital skills remain elusive, and the promise of telemedicine simply rings hollow. You see, on one visit to the Delta in Mississippi, I had the chance to meet Maria. Maria was a young woman who aspired to be an engineer, but access to the proper technology stood tall between her dream of becoming an engineer. A lack of reliable internet made online courses a struggle for her, and job applications that required digital proficiency became a barrier that she just could not overcome. The digital divide is not just a gap in gadgets, it is an amplifier of inequities that exist in our society. It's a harsh spotlight on systematic racism and socioeconomic disparities. For communities of color, it is a double-edged sword, magnifying the challenges they face and limiting their ability to break free from the cycle of poverty. But even in the midst of this inequality, there are glimmers of hope. Community organizations, grassroots initiatives, and volunteers are stepping up to bridge this gap. They're providing access to computers, teaching digital literacy, and equipping young minds with skills that hold the key to a much brighter future. I was once moved by a story by a young man by the name of Jamal who set up a mobile computer lab in his neighborhood. And every weekend, children from all over this neighborhood would gather around laptops, hungry to learn, eager to bridge the gap and bridge the divide that threatened to keep them on the sidelines of the digital revolution. The responsibility to bridge digital apartheid falls on all of us. It's not just about giving someone a device. It's about giving them the means to the same access that we have so that they can reshape their destiny. It's about recognizing that technology is a tool of empowerment, a tool that should be within the reach of everyone, regardless of their background. We need policy changes that prioritize universal access to high-speed internet. We need tech companies to redefine innovation, ensuring that the products they create are not just for the privileged few. We need educational institutions to adapt, providing digital literacy as a fundamental skill and not a luxury. And as I stand here today before you, I am reminded of that 19-year-old version of myself bursting with excitement as I ran out of Radio Shack, clutching that bag phone. But the truth is, that excitement wasn't just about the phone. It was about the possibilities that technology represented. Today, let's come together to extend those possibilities to every corner of our society. Let's redefine the narrative, transforming digital apartheid into digital unity. Let's bridge the gap, empower dreams, and reshape destinies. It's a journey that requires collaboration, empathy, and a commitment to build a brighter future where technology amplifies equality rather than perpetuating injustice. Now, as we walk away from here today, let's remember that we hold the power to shape a more equitable, inclusive, and connected world for us all. Thank you.